and welcome back to my channel. Yes, you are looking at a different background than I normally have. You are looking at my stove. Today I thought I would do something a little bit different for you. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you do know that my background is Portuguese, and I'm about to make the very traditional Portuguese Caldo Verde. And translated into English, that's the potato and kale soup. If you are Portuguese, you 110% have heard of it, have tried it. Even if you're not, you may have gone to a Portuguese/European wedding where they have that as one of their starters. You may have gone to a Portuguese restaurant, or you may have Portuguese family, friends who've served it to you, or you've just heard it. If you go online, Caldo Verde or Portuguese kale soup, if you type that in Google, you'll get 100 recipes. Every person has their own version. Today I thought I'd share with you my version of how to make it. So it's very simple, not a lot of ingredients. Again, this is my version, not necessarily the version you'll find online, not necessarily the right version, but it's the version I love, it's the version my family and friends love, and it always turns out great. So, let me share it with you. To begin, these are the ingredients you'll need. For the exception of the dish detergent, you can omit that. Everything else you'll need. So there is some extra virgin olive oil. I cut up some, roughly chopped up some onions and garlic, and it's okay that they're roughly chopped because I will be blending them together, so they'll be all pureed. I'll be using a cube of the chicken broth. This is what I like to use. A lot of people use vegetable broth. I love the flavor of chicken broth that it gives the soup, so I'll be using 1 cube. Some salt and pepper. Some Portuguese chorizo, or as I like to call it back home, I call it linguiça, but it is Portuguese chorizo. These are collard greens or kale. This is from my dad's garden. So I chopped up a whole bunch of leaves and put them in the freezer so they're ready to go. This little baggie is for 1 soup, and they're finely chopped. You can see it looks like that right there. So these are ready to go, and I have several of these bags in the freezer. And lastly, I have some chopped potatoes, and this is around 6 or 7 smaller potatoes, and again they will be blended together. And that is, if I'm not mistaken, all the ingredients I'll need for the soup. So let's begin, shall we? So we're back here. So although this is on top of my stove top, I won't be using my stove top. I'm actually using a pressure cooker. A lot of people tend to shy away from or are afraid of pressure cookers. I don't know why. The latest ones are fantastic. It's a Wolfgang puck. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but it is super easy, and normally the soup could take maybe an hour or so. I can get the soup done in a few minutes using this pressure cooker, and everything is done in one pot, which is fantastic. And this is great for roasts. You can literally, if you forgot to take out meat the night before, you can literally put frozen meat in here with all your spices, all your herbs, with all your marinades, and it will cook it and come out just as good as if you thought it the night before. So this is a great investment. I got mine from the shopping channel, the Canadian shopping channel, so love it. So the first ingredient I'll be putting in is, again, I don't really measure, so it's my extra virgin olive oil. So I'm going to put some in. Okay. So I'm just going to turn this on. because this step that I do now is not necessarily what other people do. I like to, with the hot oil, I like to put onions and garlic. And so I'll be putting that in now. And for onions, I have 2 small onions and maybe 4 cloves of garlic. The only other thing I was missing from the ingredients list was water. You will need water, obviously. So I'm just going to wait until that sizzles. Just removed you here from the tripod, just so you can see what it looks like in here. And you can hear the sizzling sound. Not till it browns or anything. I just like to caramelize them a little. I just feel it adds more flavor to the soup. And again, this is the way I do it, but it turns out really well. So we'll give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll come back. It's coming along quite nicely. I'm just going to add a little bit of water, just because I don't want the onions to burn or the garlic. So it's more a steaming action. And again, this just adds additional flavor as opposed to just dropping them into water. It just releases the flavors, I think. So you can see that most of the water has been absorbed. So this tells me that we're ready to add the potatoes, and I'm just going to add some more water to the pot. You can see I've gone ahead and added the water. It's about half full. So now I'm going to add salt and pepper. The 1 bouillon cube. So I'm just going to drop it in. And I'm also going to add the potatoes slowly because I don't want them to splash. And depending on how you like your soup, whether you like a thicker consistency or a more watered down version, I like mine not super thick, but I do like it on the thicker side, more so than watered down. So, depending, if you think you've added too much water, you can always add more potatoes, which is probably the easiest way to do it, because if you've added too many potatoes, then it's too thick and it's going to be harder to water down. And I think I may have to add maybe another couple of potatoes, but we'll see. Again, this is a pressure cooker, so everything's done super fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and seal the pressure cooker. This one's really cool. You can see where it says close. You just match it up to this tab right here, and it's closed, and it is in the sealed position right here. And when it's ready, I'll just release the little valve, release the air, and it'll actually make a little clicking sound telling me it's a-okay to open it. So don't be afraid of any disasters of this exploding, because it won't happen. As a matter of fact, it won't let you open it unless all the pressure is released. So that is fantastic. So we'll wait for that to come to a boil and cook, and we'll be right back. Okay, so about 10 to 12 minutes have passed. So I'm going to check on the potatoes. So I'm just going to release the pressure now, so and make it a little loud. It's right nearing the end. You'll probably hear a little clicking sound coming up very soon. Did you hear that? That's just a little release of the valve saying, okay, you can go ahead and open me. So let's go ahead and do that now. So you can see there's no more vapor, no more steam. So it'll now allow me to open it. You can see that there. It's now in the open. And it's going to be very hot. Right over. And that's what it looks like so far. So now we're just going to blend together all those flavorful ingredients. So my handy dandy hand blender, which I'm going to blend right in the pot. Now I haven't inserted the greens yet, just because you don't want to blend those in the soup. You want those chopped up as they are. So we're going to go ahead and blend this. And this is right now when I will see whether or not the consistency, is it too watery, is it too thick, or is it just the way I like it. So we're going to go ahead and blend. Okay, so let me see if I can do this. We're going to go and blend. Is finished, and the consistency for me is just perfect. You can see it's just a perfect consistency, not overly watery. So now, and I'm just going to add the chorizo, and I'm going to add the greens, the colored greens. Now I did blanch them off camera because I don't like them too tough, and this way the soup doesn't turn a dark green. I like the base nice and light and the pop of green. We're going to let that boil without the pressure for about 10 minutes or so, and then we will have some soup. Give that a stir. I'll show you what it's beginning to look like. Yummy, yummy goodness. And the soup is done, guys. So this is what it looks like. So let me go ahead and plate this for you. I'm going to plate it in what better than a traditional Portuguese bowl. And there you have it. This is our traditional Portuguese Caldo Verde, also known as Portuguese kale and potato soup, Portuguese colored green soup. It is super, super delicious, and I would love for you to have a bowl with me. Super good. And you can see there's some linguiça floating around there. And yeah, fresh from the garden. So that is it. Give me a thumbs up if you like these type of videos, because I would love to share more recipes with you. And again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on my next video. Bye for now. Bon apetite. Or like we say in Portuguese, bom proveito.